Hey guys, welcome to Infocast, and today I'll be talking about Silent Hill. But before I dive into that, I just want to do a quick update on the YouTube channel. So, right now it is a week before this episode comes out, so a lot of news could have released. Who knows? But anyways, here's the YouTube channel, and public. Okay, something glitched here. These aren't supposed to be public yet. Okay. I'm not on page one. My mistake. Anyways, so this stuff should be out by now that are scheduled. This just came out, and I was a little bit disappointed with the audio. And I'm tweaking my mic as best as I can, and hopefully. So what happened is Flying Hole was a lot louder than I was, and the reason for that is because Discord he's boosted so that I can hear him properly with my Sony headphones, but then my voice was lower, and if I'm not talking directly into the mic, it's hard to hear me sometimes. So I have had feedback about that, and I've been trying to adjust that as best as I can. The problem is when I play it back, I don't hear it because it doesn't appear that way in video. I have my headset on, it's loud, and I can hear it just fine. And I couldn't tell the difference even with the headphones. When Flying Hole was talking, I was still able to hear myself. It's just once it gets uploaded to YouTube, something happens where it shows the significant difference. So I did hire my mic this time, and I'm testing it with this episode, and hopefully it will allow me to know how it sounds. So anyways, quick updates. I've been playing some of these games. I beat the Lords of the Fallen. I did a lot of co-op with that. There was a lot of struggling boss fights though, and I'm glad to finish that game. I will not be playing a sequel or I played the original game and I remember just uninstalling it because I didn't like it. This one's definitely a lot better, but it's just the developers just go crazy near the end of the game where they just throw bosses as normal enemies, and the game is not constructed properly like an Elden Ring where the pacing of it flows nice and easy. It's just like cluttered with enemies and enemies that feel like bosses all the time. Now I'm sure you can boost your level up, farm and all that. I just didn't appreciate the game that much to go all the way into that. So mostly I did my fights here in co-op and just to see the story, play the game. Remnant 2 I really enjoyed. I was playing all the way through it up until the last boss. You can see I didn't co-op here and I actually died after phase 1. And that's mostly because the dog wouldn't revive me. And the dog just glitched straight. And that isn't the first time it happened. It's happened before. So the problem with it happening on the final boss of the game is that my co-op partners finished off the last boss, and then when I respawned, there was no way to try it again solo or whatever. The only way to try it again, I'd have to find the game hosted by someone else and play like that, or play through another playthrough, which I was not willing to do. Another game I saw this story, and that's all I cared for, just to play through it once. I did have Remnant 1. It's on Game Pass. It was free for Plus a while ago. I tried it out on PS5. I will not be continuing it. These are just games I'm wrapping up from last year. And then you got WoW Classic. I hit level 25 and it's just now going to level 40. So I wasn't able to do the raid because it's hard to find a group this far into the calendar. Because a lot of people are preparing where they are finishing quests but not turning them in, so that once level 40 unlocks, or once it unlocks then phase 2 to get to level 40, people are just going to turn them in and then try to boost their levels. And I was told just try to do the raid at level 30 where you won't really need to gear up because you'll gear up with the quests. And more people are going to be doing the raids because they want to level up. Blizzard is giving people extra XP that run the raid. So we'll see how that goes. Resident Evil 4 Remake. I wasn't actually going to play this, but I've been really enjoying it, and it's a hard challenge. Like, I beat this back then, and there's a lot of new stuff. I realize there's some new scenes, too. So definitely a positive. So I'm just gonna finish that off, and then some online games I like to jump into: BattleBit, Lethal Company, Counter-Strike 2. Okay. Anyways, let's get into the topic here. So there was a free demo that released called Silent Hill: The Short Message. It's great. It's great. It's a free game, and the gameplay, just watching it here, I mean, what does it remind you of? It looks like PT. So seems like they're working off that success. Now, when you read the details of this, it says it's a development group that's new, and they're like experimenting, or they were experimenting, something like that. And they were given the freedom to make this game, and yeah, they were saying that this might be the future of Silent Hill. Now, I hope that's not true, because I might get a lot of flack for this, but this isn't Silent Hill. It could be a standalone game, but when you slap the Silent Hill name on a game that does not play like the original Silent Hill games, and that's what a lot of developers have already tried to do in the past, and they have failed. Now, this was a success because it's gotten like 3 million downloads. Then again, it's free, and it lasts about 2 hours. You can beat it in an hour, 20 minutes, probably quicker as a speed run. But the reason I say this isn't a Silent Hill game is because it tries to tell a story. Now, here's the thing about the universe with Silent Hill. It's usually someone's nightmare. So they're telling a nightmare here, and there's some things to it about this character. But I feel like they're just trying to tell a story that the developers had in mind that had nothing to do with Silent Hill, and then they're just slapping the name Silent Hill to get people to play it. As you're playing it, it continuously gives you this phone number to call a suicide line if you're trying to, for people who, I don't know, I don't see why. Like, I don't think anyone who's trying to commit suicide is gonna come play this game and then decide to call the suicide hotline. So it's weird. It's like the developers or the writers trying to push some weird agenda, but I don't know. So Silent Hill isn't Silent Hill. This is just indoors, working off of success of PT, and PT was just like one hall or two hallways, and honestly is a lot more interesting than this. Now, they do some things right, but they do a lot of things wrong. Like, first of all, you slap the name Silent Hill. We don't even see Silent Hill. We're just inside a weird school, and yeah, it's not Silent Hill. So it's great. It's great. It's free. I mean, nothing to lose there unless you really hate the game. It can bore you. It's a walking simulator, and that's what it is. And that's the other reason why I say it's not a Silent Hill game. A Silent Hill game is supposed to be like a Resident Evil game where you get your guns, your loadout, and you try to survive. This, you're just running and trying to survive, but defending yourself. They felt the need to make you run away, like a lot of these walking simulators, and there's a lot better walking simulators out there, like Outlast, which tell a way better story. So I wouldn't have had a problem with this if it was its own, again, standalone game with its own title and not trying to capitalize on the Silent Hill name. So it does make you feel uncomfortable, which is reminiscent of Silent Hill, and as you see here with the fences, it looks like a Silent Hill game, sure, but again, stop trying to do this sort of stuff. Give us a proper Silent Hill game, and I know we're getting that with a remake, but that's a remake. So I don't know. Anyways, I finished it off, and I don't like, even the character design isn't all that, and it uses real cutscenes, and here it is. Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. So it seems like they're trying to reach a certain group of people that most likely won't play this game, in my opinion. And even then, the story's not that, it's not good, honestly. See, they got the nice creepy stuff. It's just that I don't know why some of these new developers believe that not defending yourself is a Silent Hill game, because those aren't the roots of Silent Hill. The roots that people should be aiming for is creating what Resident Evil 4 did, Resident Evil 8 did, if you're going to go first person, Resident Evil 7, at least to that nature. So let's go to the first one. That's how it started. If you played this game, you know it started as, or not started, like a lot of people compared it to Resident Evil. The little mansion level, the camera angles were the same. You got your guns, your handguns, your shotguns, everything. And it was a full-fledged game. It had your puzzles, and that was the other thing. The one part about this game right here, it's like near the end. So the whole game was easy until the end, where it got annoying, where you were basically going through a maze. And I did edit this video because it was 30 minutes of me going through that maze to find 5 photos, just so you can progress and beat the game. And, yeah. It's this level right here. But anyways, even the progression is not like the original Silent Hill. You used to be able to explore the whole town. You explored the schools, the hospitals, all that. And I know it's a short it's basically a longer demo, is what it is. And to see if people like it, I think they'll continue with this formula. And I really hope that's not the case. So, talking about Silent Hill, and Silent Hill 2, which is the fan favorite. Everyone points to this game as the greatest one. My favorite one was Silent Hill 1. And they are remaking Silent Hill 2. And I think with the success, we'll see Silent Hill 1 being remade. And it's weird, Konami's handing off their properties. And like, we're getting a Snake Eater remake. And then they were saying maybe Metal Gear Solid 1 remake. So with Metal Gear, it's like chronological story order is what it seems like, but it doesn't make sense with Silent Hill. And I would have preferred them start the remake with Silent Hill 1, but it looks like they want to do a fan service here, and since this was the popular one, they're going to start with Silent Hill 2. So we had Silent Hill 1, we had Silent Hill 2, we had Silent Hill 3, which was a direct sequel to Silent Hill 1. So it's like 1 and 3 connected. This was Cheryl from part 1, the daughter, and you played as the father. A lot of good things happen in there, so I still recommend playing these games. I can go into spoilers, but I'll leave it to you guys if you want to play it. And then we got Silent Hill 4, The Room, which was maybe the first time you were in first person and it felt like a walking simulator, although you were just in one room. And then when you crawled through the hole, then you went out to third person and played all the other levels. Cool thing about 4 is it connected to 2, story-wise. If you find letters around, it mentions the character of part 2, and again, I won't go into some spoilers on there in case someone decides to play these nowadays. So in my opinion, 1, 2, and 3, and 4 were the last original core Silent Hill games. After that, we got Origins. And not that it was a bad game, but it was on PSP, so I mean, you can count this, but again, it was more action-based versus, if I recall, because it's been a long time since I played this one. Yeah, there you go. You're kind of over the shoulder here, and you're a lot stronger, but it still retained the formula, the creepiness, the town. So, I mean, you could say, yeah, this was possibly the last core Silent Hill game, but the last core one on, at the time, current gen consoles, PS2. And then when we went on to PS3, we got Homecoming. Now, I don't want to say this was the downfall, but it was a lot less, or a lot more sidetracked from the Silent Hill games. It was more like you felt strong, you were the soldier, which I didn't mind at all. it still retained the same type of creatures, the dogs and everything, and it is one of my favorites, honestly. If I had to choose, though, it would definitely be the original, and then Silent Hill 3 is my second. Because like a lot of people won't agree with me, but I didn't really like the story of Silent Hill 2. And then 4 was really good, too, but 2 is better than 4. Origins was okay. Again, it was a PSP game, but it was more of a fan service, I think. And this character was still likable. But yeah, Homecoming, yeah, you're an army guy, and you just felt very powerful. That's why people didn't like it that much. But again, you got the creepy nurses, and in real time, it would go into the nowhere world, that red-looking world. The alarm would go off. So, I mean, they were still on track here. It's just people didn't really appreciate it at the time because they wanted it to feel like you were not as strong, a little bit weaker. And then I think most fans didn't like the story. I liked it. It was a good twist. I didn't expect that. So again, I would recommend playing this as well. It released in 2008, as you see. Now, this is where it turned into straight up garbage. Silent Hill Downpour. And if you look at it, like, basically ripped off the witch from Left 4 Dead, but just looks terrible. Terrible design. Even the character models didn't look that good. And I'm not even sure what it's rated, but I really disliked this game. It did not feel like a Silent Hill. Like, at least it still had the foggy outdoor environments, but none of the enemies reminded me of Silent Hill at all. It's like, and they kept repeating. It was like the same 6 enemies that you kept running into. And again, they went with the the combat was complete crap, by the way. That was another thing I think people didn't like about Homecoming was the combat, but it got a lot worse in Downpour. But yeah, again, it was less like 1, 2, 3, and 4, and more like Homecoming, but way shittier, in my opinion. And then I think we got this after, 2012. So actually Downpour came out after Shattered Memories. So Shattered Memories it looks like it released on PSP, but I played it on the Wii, the original Wii. Yep, right there. It says it's on the Wii. So the problem with this game, it was a reimagining of Silent Hill 1. Excuse me. It wasn't a bad game, but this is when it started where you're very vulnerable. You must just run away. And that's basically all you did in the whole game was run away and look. It had some cool features where you look back with the flashlight as you're running, and then you go from scripted event to the next scripted event. And if I remember correctly, there was some puzzles. I remember I sat through and played it in one playthrough, one sit-through. But this is when it started kind of swaying away from the original formula. And then again, Downpour was complete crap. And I remember thinking, how can it get worse than this game? And lo and behold, it starts with the HD collection, which I guess at least you can still play the original ones, but they removed the fog and they did things the developer didn't like at all. So again, I mean, you could still say the collection, I would say that the collection's better than Downpour because, again, this is crap. But then they go into Book of Memories, which was like a Diablo Silent Hill game, which they're just experimenting at this point, but at least it retained some point of fun gameplay style. Now, the complete utter shit starts right here. Or not starts, or hopefully ended right here, because this was the mobile game. And it sells microtransactions. It's out right now. It's on your mobile phone. And it's basically just a writer again slapping the name Silent Hill to tell their story. And that's where it leads back to what I'm talking about with, or what I feel like with the short message. I feel like it's the short disaster because it's reminiscent a lot of slapping that Silent Hill name just to get people to download and try it. Now, I guess this is some sort of side story, so it might be okay, but they need to return to the roots. So, Crab Game, don't follow in this game's footsteps, which was basically just cutscenes and little puzzles on mobile phone with microtransactions. I don't know what they were thinking. This might be a step in a much better direction than that mobile game, but this isn't what core fans want to see. So core fans and they did just release the latest footage here, and a lot of fans are disappointed by the combat once again. And let me see, is this the latest one? 7 days ago, yep. So I like it. I like the graphics. It looks really good, in my opinion. And it's got the feeling. It's got the town. It's got the creepy fog. Now here's the thing. The originals didn't have the best combat either, but they were limited by the hardware. So people are expecting it should be on the level of Resident Evil 4 at this point. And there you go. There's the combat there. People are thinking it's a little still. Maybe the creatures need to look better. But I don't have a problem with this. I mean, it still looks really good to me. This is a step in the right direction, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't know here. I mean, it's not bad. But yeah, I see that combat swinging the pole. Oh, and that kick or that step is a little stale. But I mean, it's a fan service. It's a much better fan service than the short message. And we got it on Unreal Engine, which is a good thing. But yeah, go lean towards this direction. Lean towards Resident Evil 4. I mean, that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a competitor for Capcom's games. Konami versus Capcom. But I want to see less of this. I mean, we don't got Kojima working on it with PT, and even then, he was working on PT. He was planning to make it a third-person shooter, survival horror shooter. So these are the upcoming ones. We got Townfall, which I think is the same developers as the short message. Let's take a peek here. Hexa Drive. Okay, it might not be. Okay, we don't even have a link. Or I think these are the Layer of Fears guys or the Medium guys. Yeah, the Medium. That's who it was. Who developed the Medium? That will tell us. The thing is, even the Medium is like, even though it was fun, you don't really defend yourself and you're mostly running away. Bluebird team, okay. They might be working on the remake, not Townfall. Let's check out their official website. Okay, Silent Hill, yeah, Layers of Fear. So they make a lot of walking simulators. And that's not what I want to see in my Silent Hill game. So at least they're working on a good remake here. So who's working on okay, so Hexa Drive, let's see what they made. Maybe some ports here and there. Nintendo. So who is making, what is it? Silent Hill Townfall. So I hope this game isn't a walking simulator and we actually get a proper Silent Hill game. that can compete with Resident Evil. It's called No Code. Okay, what have these guys made? Okay, it looks like they're new. So, until we know what type of game it is, which, okay, reveal trailer. It's got a good trailer. I remember watching it. It's got a Silent Hill feel. But just don't be, if you're going to be first person, allow us to defend ourselves. Stop making us run away. Damn ads. And we're just getting a trailer. So there's no real gameplay here. Well, I just saw it right here. Silent Hills. If Kojima only got to make this, he would have made it great. Maybe. I mean, or he would have made it a walking simulator like Death Stranding. But even this, you're in a town at least. Doesn't really look like Silent Hill Town, but it looks a lot better than the short message. So is this a short disaster? I want to say yes and no. Yes, don't use the name Silent Hill. And no, because it still got some gameplay that is enjoyable. Story sucks, in my opinion, but everyone else can think differently there. They might like it. It's a story basically about suicide, but there's a twist to it too, which in my opinion doesn't make sense on a Silent Hill game. And yeah, is that it? I think that's it. So the next one is Townfall, which is disappointing because we don't know much about it, and it could be again a walking simulator. So right now all we have to hold hope for is Silent Hill 2. But yes, stop giving us these walking simulators with director trying to tell his story he imagined or decided to write to try to make notice about something that whoever wants to commit suicide basically isn't going to be playing this game to begin with. Like, maybe write a book or something. But not to hate, go download this. I guess it's a free game anyways. Because slapping the name Silent Hill, it's not like they made money off of this. But if they continue like the sequel, The Short Message 2, and then they put a selling price, or if they make some future game like this, where you're just walking around, and you're walking around slowly until you have to run away from the same enemy. By the way, that was the most annoying mother voice acting I've had to hear keep repeating and screaming. At least the graphics look nice. But yeah, it looks like it's just a writer trying to bring awareness to something. And in my opinion, it shouldn't be in a Silent Hill game. Give it its own title. Make it its own franchise. If you want to tell us a story about something. And I get why he used the Silent Hill world, because it could literally be any character with any story for Silent Hill to bring that nightmare to them. But still, stop with the walking simulators. That's all I have to say. Like, yeah. Alright, anyways, thanks for watching. Infocast out.